Things are going to start happening to me now.
You've done all the reading. You're a scholar. You're a professor. You've done all the reading. You've done the intellectual heavy lifting.
More or less, eat shit and die.
You wouldn't know a fact if it begged you all night long.
Want to give the wrong impression, because I am very high.
Ran up behind him with a hatchet. Smash, smash, smash.
Yeah. Care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is,
Did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen.
That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
And welcome everybody to the Libertarian Podcast Review. This is Tyler Yonke. Happy Friday to you. What did I plan a show? Is this what we've got going on here? We got a few people in the chat. So here's what I thought I'd do today. I recorded. I went out to. I'm gonna recap my weekend. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna recap my weekend. Maybe I'll tell you a few stories. If someone wants to remind me in the chat, I'll tell you about the one-eyed girl that I dated at one point. I hope everyone's doing good. Let's see here. David Brady said, "Howdy, Tyler. How you doing, David? I hope everything's going well. You're going to college. I hope you're enjoying that experience. I haven't seen you on Twitter as much. Good for you. All right. Let me tell you, I went to the Libertarian California Libertarian Party convention, and it was interesting. I've been to a few of them. So I'll walk you through the whole thing. But when I was out there, I was able to do an in-person interview with Adam Nutter, our very own. Great time. And by the way, and I released that as episode 150, so go check it out. I've listened to it a few times myself, just because the in-person stuff is just so much better. It's like the communication, to be able to sit there, we have this across, platforms that we're able to do like that we do, bringing people in, which is awesome. But there's nothing better than having an in-person conversation. It just rolls much better. Now, I also did one with Josh Smith. Okay. So the problem with the Josh, let me turn this up here. The problem with the Josh Smith one is he goes pretty hard, and I haven't released it yet. And the reason I haven't released it yet, I did the editing for it. And I thought I would do an intro and then add it to it, and it's pre-recorded. So I'm going to, put it out. Maybe I'll put it out midweek. But I also wanted to reach out to Adrian Malagon. He's the chair of the Libertarian Party of California, to kind of get his perspective. Because I will say, Josh Smith goes pretty hard on everybody, and I like them both. And I kind of push back against Josh a little bit. So look for that one coming out. Okay. Anyway, so that's gonna happen. And anyway, so Dave says here, it's going pretty decent. Thanks, man. Hope all's going well for you. Yeah, Steve Days. It's going decent, I guess. That's what I meant. Okay, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the events of the Libertarian Party convention is in Orange County and Santa Clara, Orange County not Santa Clara. That's up in north. It's Orange County, and my friend, high school friend, one of my best friends, lives in North Beach. Okay, I'm sorry, not North Beach. That's Hawaii. Newport Beach. Holy smokes. I'm not drunk or anything here. Newport Beach. So I'm like, and I've stayed with him before for this. And so I said, hey, Joe, let me stay with you. And he's like, perfect. I let him know ahead of time, well enough. His wife actually went out of town. So, and then I'm like, hey, our friend Adam Nutter, a friend of mine, is doing comedy. Adam Nutter, Brian McWilliams. They're doing a comedy show down there. I get tickets. So, and he's like, sounds good. What comedy club? And I'm like, easy. Let me just get the tickets first. So I bought 3 tickets for he and I and someone else, another friend of ours that ended up not showing up. So one of the people I do know down there in our group chats, he's Reed Hearted on Twitter. I'm like, buddy, I've never met you either. How about I have an extra ticket if you want to go? He's like, sounds good. Okay. So tell my friend Joe. Joe knows he used to be a liberal. His brother's liberal, or Democrat, just kind of like that's how he grew up, or just for him in California. But he's more, this whole COVID stuff really changed him over, and he's more Republican. Identifies, he's done the Compass test online, and it came out and said, you're libertarian. He's like, oh, interesting. So he's got this affinity somewhat for libertarian stuff. He's not averse to it. But does that mean he's interested in the Libertarian Party convention, which is a crazy, crazy niche of everything else? So no, probably not. So he doesn't go to, and he's been interested before when I went down there a few years ago. The first one I went to, I think that was in Long Beach. And so he's asking me about it. And it was the first one I had gone to, and it's how the sausage is made, and it's not what you want to see. And I was just like kind of disassociated with it. Oh my God. Hi, JC. And hi, David. So anyway, with that in mind, he goes, what comedy club is this thing at? And I'm like, it's not at a comedy club. It's Adam Nutter and Brian McWilliams. You're going to do comedy at the convention. We're just going to go with it. And he's like, perfectly fine. Okay, so I fly in there Friday afternoon. He picks me up. We go down to, like I said, he lives walking distance to Newport Beach. So we walk down there. His wife's out of town all weekend, so fine and dandy. We walk down there. We walk around. We get a place to eat, get some drinks, go to another place. Meanwhile, Reed-Hearted, I'll just call him Andrew, is texting me the whole time. He's like, hey, my brother and I, we're down here. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to balance these two things between and by the way, my buddy Joe goes, so Adam, how did you meet him? How long have you known him? And I'm like, let me tell you, I've never met him. And he's like, have you seen this video catfishing? So I had to explain, hey, look, we know these people. I do this podcast. We know these people. What's up, Jameson? Ayo, wink, nod. I'm like, I know, and I not met Reed-Hearted either, / Jameson. And so I'm like, I also haven't met these guys before. And he's just kind of just like, what is going on? And I'm like, hey, you don't understand. We're in these group chats, as these Twitter people. I think I've vetted some of these. I've talked to them online, phones or whatever. I think we're good. So we ended up, the thing started at 9, and the comedy. So we met, I think it was like an hour before. There's a bar right across the street. We met Reed-Hearted and his brother and another guy over there. Immediately, it was cool. And we were having drinks, good times. We went over and saw the comedy. Now I talked to Adam about it, and you guys can go check that out and kind of understand. It was difficult. We go in there. It's a hotel convention. First of all, it's libertarians. Second of all, it's there's a teachers convention that some of those people walked in. We sit in the front row, and I've been drinking for a while. Andrew and his brother had been drinking for a while. My buddy Joe had been drinking for a while. And so we were already ready for this. And then it's the comedy. And it's not set up for everything that we want. And then there's a little bit of libertarian stuff thrown in there. Anyway, it was fascinating. I don't know that my buddy Joe was so enthralled with it. I had a good time. That's just all it was. It was a good time. David says, comedy? You mean the LP presidential debate? We'll get to that. I'm just walking through my weekend for you here. So we're done, 9 to 10 or so, good times. And then we're going to go out and go do some more stuff. I should have asked Adam to come along, or at least Brian McWilliams. He texted me later. He's like, where'd you go? I was going to drink with you. And I was like, sorry, I don't know. Joe was not impressed. He talked about it all weekend. He was not impressed. I don't care. Was I impressed? I don't know. The thing I realized is I'm sitting there watching these guys. It's a horror. Once again, the venue itself is horrible for comedy. You can set everything up for the best situation that you can do for whatever your comedy, law, whatever your thing is that you want to do. Volleyball. I don't care. Whatever it is. There's certain places that just don't work, and this is just doesn't work place. So I felt bad, but to Adam's benefit. And his credibility, at least here, he said, you don't blame the crowd. It's not what it is. And I'm like, okay, granted, I get it. Joe was not impressed. Adam went to bed. Adam did go to bed. So the four of us, my buddy Andrew's friend left, and so that he was seeing his brother, and Joe and I, we went out and we're walking. And Joe's my buddy Joe is the kind of guy that he just like a few nights later we're going through and he just keeps going into all these restaurants. He just wants to check them out. And I'm just like, I'm not that guy. I'm not real bold like that. So we go down and there's this club and he's like, let's go and check this out. And we're like, sure, why not? You know the place. And he's like, you may not get in because Andrew had like a flannel jacket thing on. I was probably dressed exactly like this, sweatshirt and jeans. And the brother was like, he was the same way. We were okay, but it was a club. But the white power and the ability to have your white privilege, these guys just let us right in. And immediately it's like thumping crowd. I mean, music is just super loud. It's a club, a lot of chicks in like black dresses, short skirt stuff, dudes in black shirts. They're a little bit more dressed up. They're like dancing around. They're doing their thing. And we just get drinks. There's like private table. At one point we sit down there. We get kicked out of there. Then we go to the other side. There's another private. We just get right in that one and sit down in the same thing. And I couldn't hear a fucking thing that happened, which was a disappointment because I wanted to talk to these guys. So I'm doing the old man finger to the ear the whole time. What? It was not a pleasant look. But ultimately I had a great time. I was the designated driver. I drove home. We stopped at In-N-Out about 1 o'clock. I got a burger, went back to the house, took one bite, almost threw up. It was a rough thing, a little hungover the next day, but I made it. So then I go to the convention. So that was my night there. Then we do 2 days of the convention, and it's about like, it's so gross. Some of the stuff you're doing. It's like half the people hate this side, the other hate this side. It's all petty. It's stupid Robert's rules of whatever. And our buddy Adrian is up there, and he's really divisive and rude, I thought. Now, he came out with an explanation as to why later on. I think it's actually fine for him, but there's weird people in the party. There's not so weird people. So I did 2 days of that. Like I said, I interviewed, and then I went back, hung out with my buddy each night, and then flew home on Monday morning. Had a little bit of a flight delay, but that's what it is. Star Child update. Thank you, JC. I did take a picture because he comes in on... okay, this is a dude in California politics there. I think he's from San Francisco. I don't know if he's gay. He's decently fit. I would say he's probably at least 45, 50. But he first day wears a dress for some reason. Is he a cross-dresser? Is he trans? I don't think he's trying to be trans. The second day he comes in. Now, Adrian, the chair of the party, he's a Mises Caucus guy, does not get along with Josh at all. Very much like Josh. And you'll see that in my interview. I talk about that. He had put out the memo like, hey, how about we dress up? How about we just don't look like pieces of shit? Now I never don't look fine, jeans and a t-shirt and usually a jacket or something that's perfectly fine. But a lot of people wore like a suit jacket with the same outfit. This motherfucker comes in on a Sunday morning. He's the lion from the Wizard of Oz. He's wearing an outfit of the lion of the Wizard of Oz, but it's like something you would have for naughty time for Halloween. So it was like his ass was showing, and he had this head thing on. He had a sign, and the sergeant at arms was not going to let him in. And they let him in, and his bending over in front of my buddy Shane kiss his ass in the face. It was really disturbing to see. So yeah, JC, he's that old. No, he's. I think he's. Yeah, he doesn't look young. So. Can I even find this picture? I tried to get a snap picture, and then later on I'm just like, why do I even give a fuck? I don't want to do anything. This guy is just gross. And let's see if I can scroll through my stuff. There's a picture of me and Josh. There's a picture right there. I don't know if I can even bring this up here. Okay, folks, here you go. There. Can you see that at all? Is that work? Let's scroll in here. This is where he's walking. You can't see. It's bareback. He's got this. So this is his headgear. This is just what it is. So there you go. That's what it was. So weirdo. But we got done with all the stuff at the convention, and then I was out of it. And like I said, I had a great time having a conversation with Josh. That one's coming out shortly. I wanted to do I like Adrian, okay? Josh hates Adrian. And I was a little bit harsh on Adrian. I talked to some people and I was like, I don't know if this is the way. And I was a little bit harsh on Josh actually when I talked, and this is the way it is. People run for president of the Libertarian Party, and I thought my experience with my friend Joe was the exact one, which puts it into perspective. Which is, I go to the Friday thing, I get there, I'm checking in and getting the tickets or whatever, and immediately Adam's there, hugs, this is great. Brian McWilliams comes over, says hi. A bunch of people are saying hi. I don't always know everybody. People see it from the podcast, so they know you. And I met a lot of great people, so I appreciate that. This one girl's like, "Hey, I'm whomever," and I'm like, "Great." Later, I found out that I should know her, so my apologies there. But Josh Smith comes up. Big hug. He looked good. I thought he was taller, but he's not. So he says 6'2", 230. I just saw a tweet about that today. I'd say 6 foot 190. I think he's lost some weight. He's looking pretty sleek, so it's pretty good. But I introduced him to my friend Joe as Josh. I didn't say, "Hey, this guy's running for president." And I don't know why. It's like it makes me feel like we're just not quite there. Okay. And that was my reaction later on. I'm like, oh yeah, I just didn't, and maybe I need to be more pumped up about the libertarian stuff. And I talked to Josh. He's not stupid about what the whole idea is here, but he is serious, I think, about running. So for some of that, I'm just like, I don't know, run a company, do something. Maybe that's what I expect from a presidential candidate. And maybe that's the problem. Who was the girl? I don't know if I can. She wasn't with me. She was with someone else there, and I'll let him talk. Super nice, but she was with one of the other people there, and I didn't know. Anyway, now I've signed it on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, that's who you are. Okay, I get it. You're in the chats and all this stuff. It was you, JC. JC, the girl was you. I don't know, is JC a guy or girl? David Brady said, groups are defined by their least respectful members. And people like that need to be shunned by any group who wants to be taken seriously. So I agree. And by the way, this was really interesting to me because Karen Ann Harlos was there. She's got the pink hair. She's great at what she does. But I don't look at her, especially. I mean, Josh is a completely different aspect because he wore a suit. He's the respectable looking guy, and he is a respectable guy. And Karen might be that way as well. But I'm not going to go to my half Republican friends who are interested in the Libertarian Party and go, here we go, Karen and Harlos, pink hair, pink shoes, and a Liberty thing on her head. And you're just like, okay, I don't know. Why is this all like a club? If you're taking this so seriously and you want to run the most powerful nation in the world, why do you act like you meet in a clubhouse in a tree house? Why do you have to look like that? Like you got Star Child running around a moat down below your tree. You're not letting him in because you pulled the rope up. Now he's going to try to bear hug his way up that tree. No problem, right? Partly he gets rubbing off on the tree. But then Karen Ann is up there with her fucking pink hair and her little hat thing. And I'm just also like, it's all a clubhouse. What about... I don't... By the way, I know this is where Josh actually gets more credibility. I run a business. She's fucking not coming into my business working for me looking like that. That's just all that's happening. Okay, no offense. She's probably great at what she does, and you go, oh, how dare... You know what? I'm sorry. I'm running a business here. I have clients coming in. I have people coming in and out. I do depositions here. Granted, I don't always wear a suit and tie to work. Matter of fact, I wear jeans and a t-shirt and a sweatshirt a lot. But I also know how to gauge things different. And I'm not going to have my staff come in looking like that, and they're not going to wear a thing on their head, be it a yarmulke or a Liberty hat. Just saying that. Okay, we got a few little comments. Still, who was the word girl? Andrew, I missed your call. My wife and I were out hanging out. David says, respectfully, Tyler, if they wanted to run the comp tree, they would be in the Geo party, not the third party. Yeah, no, I don't really. I know you're gonna go off on me and like this and all these things, but whatever. They're whores too, and they're not going down that road. Oh my God! Hi, Andy. Okay. Garbage Main says, just got here. Did Tyler go to a gym in Crystal Show? I did. I get what you're saying, David, but I'm not impressed with that. I guess you're right. If they want to run the country, So maybe that's not even what it is. If they want respectability and they want to move the Overton window with these other parties, then maybe you need a little bit more respectability. I personally, there is an argument to push back, which is you can wear a suit, you can do all this stuff, you can be, Trump Jr., but you're still a big piece of shit, okay? And those guys, they may be worse. Meghan McCain, as an example, may dress more respectable, but she's still a fat slob underneath, okay? That's where we're going. Speaking of which, let's play a little. Should I tell a story about a girl I dated that had one eye? Is that anything? Jameson says, I told Tyler not to do the LP thing, but he didn't listen. Hey, by the way, if I hadn't gone there, if I hadn't done this, we wouldn't have hung out. And by the way, was that not one of the best nights of the week? I was going to say your life, but week, maybe. Tyler dated a pirate. I did. Okay. So I get divorced. I'm single, doing a lot of this Match.com dating. This is before Tinder, okay, Grindr even. That's really the only one out there. And I'm trying to date some people. I come across this girl, or she comes across me, and decent looking picture, and she, messaged me or whatever. But she has her eye, one of her eyes is closed. She doesn't have a patch in her eye. She doesn't have it googling out or anything. She just has her eye closed, and looks attractive with that. So she messages me and whatever, and I'm like, okay. I take it to heart, and I go, Tyler, are you so shallow that you're not going to try to, date someone, or at least go out on one date with someone who's got a little bit of a deformity? Is my internet having trouble? This is problematic. So that means my wife is probably watching TV downstairs. So I'm like, look, what if something happened to me? Okay. What if I lost my arm, or I lost an eye or an ear or something like this? It's still me. Do I not deserve a chance to still go out and have a good date? So how shallow are you that maybe she's a hottie. Maybe she's a hottie still. So with that in mind, I'm like, fine, we'll go out. So I meet, and this is what I'm doing. So this is before I had a good job. So I'd meet them at coffee. Perfectly fine. If things didn't go well, it's just coffee, a little cheap at the time. So, anyway, that's kind of the situation. So I meet her out for coffee, and I was crunched for time at this situation. I don't remember, maybe I was studying for the bar or something like that. So I meet her for coffee, and you sit down. Now, look, there's a time to say some things, and then that time passes. And what I mean by that is I never messaged her. She never said anything about what happened to her eye. I didn't ask her right away what happened to her eye. And then at some point, it's too late to ask. And that happened here. Okay. So she's talking away. She talked about some wreck she had been in, when she was younger. I'm presuming that's what happened to the eye. I never asked. It's going on. Let's date. And then it's boring. Okay. This just isn't working. Okay. Plus, you can only look at the one side of her face. Have you ever met someone, and I have this happen to as well, where they have maybe a lazy eye, and then you realize at that point that you only really look at one eye of someone. And then you realize that sometimes you look at both one eye and then the other eye, and then you're like, wait, which eye am I supposed to be looking at? Am I looking at the wrong one? It's fucking annoying. Okay. I have this friend, it's acquaintance, pretty funny. Doesn't matter. I can't hang out with him because the lazy eye, it bothers me. And there's no conversation about it. I personally would be saying, hey, I've got this eye that floats. You just check it out over here. I'd be more like that. So we're sitting there. Once again, the coffee was amazing. She's boring me, boring stories, all this stuff. Near the end, she finally does it. She points it. She doesn't point. She says, oh, sorry about my eye. And I'm like, okay, finally we're here. She's going to apologize. I don't know why she's apologizing. And then she points to her good eye, and she's like, I didn't get much sleep last night, and it's all bloodshot. It blew me away because what about the other one the other one that's, I don't know, been poked out by a stick? So needless to say, we didn't ever go out again. Okay. Andy's going crazy in here. He says, tell the story about the girl with the club foot you dated at the LP event. I did not. I think that was a toad in a wig. Could be. Should have insulted the eye to start it. Yeah, I should have. Tyler Larry Davids himself, pretty much. I should have insulted her. Okay. I'm going to play a few little things here. Let's start with, this is from the, since we're talking about the LP stuff, I thought we'd start here. Where is this? This was okay, so what happened is people paid to be at in like these debates, okay? But they weren't actually debates. There was the LP business stuff, and then there was like a panel. The first day, it was Michael Rechtenwald, who, by the way, the first day he he dressed like Don Johnson from Miami Vice, which, does that make Clint Tubbs? I don't know. So he had like a white suit on, but I think it was him. Larry Sharp moderated, but it was Rechtenwald, RFK Jr. and someone else, and they had like a panel up there. I did not watch it, but this is beforehand. This isn't good for our boy Adrian, but he's up there talking. See if you can hear this. This is a hot mic.
In this fucking entire group. This is the biggest thing we've done.
She shit on me so much for this thing and talk.
Okay, so there's this Ovens is her name. She's a photographer. She's fantastic. She took a black and white photo of me when she was sitting next to me talking about that. It looked fantastic. I don't even know who I am. So somehow she's in this thing and she's trying to take pictures. And Larry Sharp's like, you got to let her take pictures. And Adrian's like, no, she shit on me. It's not anything to do with other than I have a personal vendetta, which is odd. But anyway.
Dude, I really hate the president. Listen, ours campaign has been so fucking shitty to me, and then they want me to bend over backwards. So is everybody else in there, mother.
She's nowhere near as good. She's the best. There's nobody fucking close to her. Have you seen the shit she puts out?
Now, what's interesting is Adrian's complaining about this Ovens taking pictures. His profile pic on Twitter, it has her watermark. By the way, I'm an Adrian fan, but
I will do this as a personal favor. I want a fucking apology from her after this.
Done, whatever, yes.
Good.
He wants an apology from her.
She does, dude. She puts out beautiful shit.
I'm tired of rewarding shitty behavior for just whatever. I don't find it as valuable. I know you do, and I know I know that other people agree with you. I'm just saying that I'm just tired of the entitlement that fucking these people have, especially after all the fucking party business today.
Now, I'll give it a little bit of hindsight. We come in there, there's these two people that had quit the party after Reno, a son and his mother. They're real trash like people, and they tried to reinstate themselves into the party, but they weren't there. So they wanted to be able to be voting members for the business. And the first thing we had to deal with was people trying to reinstate them, and it was pretty clear through the bylaws that they had to have like a 12-month cooling off or something like this. But they made a big stink about it, and it wasted a bunch of time. And that's what Adrian's kind of talking about here, which is, a bunch of shitty people, and you treat him like this. And so he got done with business that you have because he just took charge. And whether you like that or not, that's kind of the way it was. So, but Alvin's, is she part of that? I don't know.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying she's fucking good.
All right.
This is more interesting than the hot mic
Let
situation.
me grab some from this. I'll bring some. I'll get some bottle of water.
You are not going to be unhappy with the photos. You're going to be like, it's a fucking waste. You're going to be happy with the photos. And they're going to look good. They're going to look good on your social media.
Right, you're a salesman. You're looking at fucking.
Okay, so look, the only reason I'm doing this is because at some point, if you're trying to run a party, why are you caring about some of these small things? It just, as a business owner myself, you got to know how to like not concern yourself with some of the small things. And by the way, if you're going to micromanage it to that extent of someone you don't like, then it's a little bit more problematic. So JC's in here, or J Ford is in here. He says, I don't care about any of these people. Yo, me, Josh and Nutter would probably be the only ones I like. You know what? I will say this, and Toad had problems with, he's like, oh, your California is so cucked and all, and I'm like, it's not. Okay, the Mises Caucus took it over. There's a lot of guys in there I really like that I've met, and not girls. I mean, there's a few females, I guess. Okay. But for the most part, it's I like them, and you would too. Okay. So there's some of that, but there's also just stupid shit. So maybe we'll just move on from all this LP stuff. But I thought we would start it with there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a small clip of this. So Owens just had Dave Smith on, and I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I thought this portion was fascinating. So let's start right
for not doing more. And I go, so which one of them worked out? Which one was the last?
Dave's talking about getting blocked by Podhoritz on Twitter, and Podhoritz comes back and says something stupid, and Dave's basically like, which war worked out? And that's what he's saying, and for that he got blocked.
War that you supported that worked out. And he blocked me because there's no answer to that. He's not going to even tell his own audience that any one of those wars I just mentioned was a success. But yet the same people who championed every single one of them are championing the next.
By the way, I mean,
war.
Let me go back here. I want to scroll just a tad. Right, look at this studio. That's just pretty. I mean, this is the Daily Wire, and Candace Owen is probably making a lot of money. She has one of those crazy Jew contracts from the Daily Wire. But that's a great studio. I sat in a side share with Josh and then Adam, and we're doing this conversation, and there's people walking around. I think it turned out pretty good. I tried. By the way, so I have an iPhone I used to record, and I had like 2 GoPros going, so we were able to get everything. I had my my Zoom. It's not Zoom the video thing, but it's a recorder. The mics, so it all worked out well, and it is all that production stuff that I used to do when I would do live podcasts. Pain in the ass to take it all and then put it together. It's so much easier to do it this way. But look at this studio. This is fantastic. I think we'd have great conversations. Imagine if Andy's sitting over here and I'm over there, and I've got my pink cup with a straw. Yeah.
He's not going to even tell his own audience that any one of those wars I just mentioned was a success. But yet the same people who championed every single one of them are championing the next war. And it's kind of like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, these are the kind of arguments that I used to get into with Meghan McCain. McCain, obviously, there's a reason that you guys support every war. This is how you're able to fund your lifestyle. It's your only entry into discussion at all as the daughter of somebody who hasn't actually done anything successful herself other than be somebody's daughter. But it's the same thing. They speak down to us like we're stupid because they see themselves as a part of this like protected academic elite. And your perspectives is this, your perspective is that. And I'm like, you've been wrong every single time. What grants you the arrogance to say that us saying, after trillions of dollars spent, after making enemies literally everywhere, and by the way, you say this is about global security, we don't even have national security.
Right.
So you can miss me with your global security debate. We are not more secure globally, and we have definitively disintegrated as a country, as a
I love that part. So, by the way, if you didn't catch that, she's basically says, Meghan McCain, you've accomplished nothing. You're not successful except for that you're the daughter of someone who was, and you're basically trash, which is true. And she's fat. So I love that she took on Meghan, and she's had fights with her and basically called her out in this interview. Perfectly fine. Let's go to some. So Alan Mosley, who we all love. It's Too Late, his show. Go check that out in the week. I think you're on Thursdays, I think. Tower Gang's on then too, so it's a bit of a dilemma. But I was invited to speak at the LP Tennessee convention a year ago. He says it was a total shit show. I highly doubt they have me back, but it's clear they have no clue how to put on events. I will say this. So here's part of the problem with the Josh Smith stuff, which is Adrian wanted to put on an event where they made money. So he brought a RFK. He had all these events. You buy a table if you're going to be a presidential candidate because it's the presidential year. So they're making money off this, and they're basically saying if you want to be a candidate that has like priority, you're going to pay. It's the total Larry Sharp situation of government, which is, oh, you want a road? We're going to sell it to FedEx, and FedEx is going to run this road, and we're going to have da-da-da-da. So he had all this stuff, which Josh didn't like. Josh didn't pay for a table. He didn't pay to be in the debate or the panel. But then he is handing out his stuff, and this was a problem that Adrian had. So I actually thought the events, as far as they put on, it's only as good as the people participating, right? And so Adam Nutter is a headline comic. There you go. No, it's fine. So it's partly that's the problem there. And now, look, you say it was a total shit show, Alan. Was that what you said, your speech, or was it the actual convention? Jay Fort says didn't agree that it was a joke. Wait, didn't you agree to that as a joke and forgot until right before the event? That's funny. Let's see what we could. Looks like the back of Mises Institute. Could be. Now you're just bragging to us. Alan answers that question. He says, I'm pretty sure the whole thing was a joke by the attendance, location, production, and leadership. Excellent. By the way, I am going to be in Tennessee, and Andy says he wants to hang with Alan, but I mean, that's up to you guys. You guys are all still there. And here's Alan's reply. If you sell more tickets to the non-Alan event, I'll take it. So basically he's like, Andy's like, I want to hang out with Alan. And Alan's like, buy tickets to my event. I think that's what we're dealing with here. Okay. I'm going to be in Tennessee in June. I want to say 5 through 8, 9. So Andy said he's going to get a studio. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, do a podcast there. So I don't know. I have some other things here. I wanted to play the open to this. Will it get nuked for it? Perhaps. But I saw yesterday it was Cat Williams was on Joe Rogan. And then I just started this and I thought the first, minute was fantastic here with Dan Soder.
I'll be reading 8 books simultaneously.
Okay.
Double day.
Wake you up.
Whoa. This thing skips fast. Okay, here we go.
All day.
All night.
Let's go, Dan Soder.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. What's happening?
Forgot how good a weed you have.
This is Cat Williams weed.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm going to start talking shit on everyone in the business.
And that ain't never been a day that Shane Gillis ain't never texted me, you're gay. Always calling me gay.
We had Cat Williams ride the racing simulator, and I filmed it and put some of it up on Instagram. But he's
amazing.
like,
This is how he drives. This is a normal thing. He does this because he does this in real life.
Yeah, I would love for Cat Williams to be the voice of my self-hate.
He's like, you ain't never gonna be nothing, baby. You suck.
And it's like, I know, Cat.
I love Dan Soder, so that's pretty good. I listened to the whole Soder stand-up you shared. It was pretty good. Yeah, this is okay. So we saw stand-up, Andrew and I, what I came to the conclusion of is one. I didn't finish the story actually, on this comment. It was a horrible event as far as the lighting, the stage, the seating, every bit of it. And these guys still went up and did it, and they went through their whole set, and whether it was funny or not, that's that's a different story. But they said all their stuff, and they had good timing. This holding out, I couldn't do that. It would be tough to do. And Dan Soder's comedy is him on stage getting filmed in front of a big audience. It's a comedy club. And it is so relaxed. It's just him and it's like it's him doing his podcast, just him in his apartment talking. And, Cat Williams talks about this, I think, on with Rogan there. It's like, or maybe it was him, maybe it was Sam Morrell that was on with Soder that I watched. I watched a bunch of comedy stuff recently, where they're basically like, it makes it look easy because when you're really good at it, it's just flows and your confidence is there and it's a conversation. So then other people are like, oh, I go do this. No, you can't. I'll tell you what's interesting too is the feedback. I've talked about this a few times, but Brian McWilliams goes up there first. He opens for Adam Nutter. And at the same time this convention is happening, there's also a California Teachers Association, big association convention happening as well. I believe the California Teachers Association is the biggest union in the state of California. That's the California association, or maybe it's different than the union. The union's huge. So anyway, it's this association there, and some of these fucking teachers walk into the wrong place and show up as bald-headed, tall, skinny. Brian McWilliams is telling dick jokes and about abusing his kids, beating his wife, all this kind of funny stuff, which isn't true, but it's funny. And he walks them. Okay, they get they get up and leave. I think someone may have even been yelling at him or whatever. So they get out and walk, and that's got to be rough. Now, that's probably a good thing in his situation to have these teachers get out of there. You know, you don't need to be there. But I couldn't imagine doing comedy and then people just getting up and walking out and how that would feel. Now, I do Tower Gang. And if you ever use StreamYard, there's little things of all the people that appear on the bottom. Okay. So you can see them in there. You remove yourself from the studio, from the screen. You're still down there. You're just not bold. You're like little grayer. So you can tell that they're in the studio or not. But they're still able to see everything and watch. Okay. I do Talking Towers at the end. They're all there. And one by one, they just are. First of all, Cole and his wife hate it. They don't, I don't know if they hate me, but they hate what I do on the show. So boom, he's gone. And then Clint's gone, and then Jose's gone, and then Top Lobster gone. And then the only one watching me, the only feedback is Jose's gone, is Toad. And I'm just like, of all people, he's the only one and it's difficult. I don't know if it's going well. And then it makes me feel like I'm bombing. And so I cut some of the things I'm going to do. Maybe I start to stammer. I'm watching this shit and I've got to figure it out. Nothing is worse than that. I mean, once again, I'm here solo, but you guys are at least in the chat and you know, you're dogging me there. And, you know, JC says, I wish Jay Fort lived near my parents. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that, but that's hilarious. Jay Fort says, is Nate Bargatze still doing comedy? I used to live near his parents in Tennessee. He was funny. He's blown up. Bargatze is very funny. And, I haven't seen him live, but, I know he's a really good comedian, actually. He's solid. I watched Tower Gang. You're doing fine. Thank you. Okay. I've got a new premise. Each week I'm going to change it up. And I got a new premise this next week because these motherfuckers, like I said, they disappear. So I've got to do something different. And I think I've got a concept to keep them all engaged. Maybe. Try doing a late night show, Alan says, and monologue every week with no audience. My only feedback is my inner loathing. Yeah, I get. But Alan, I think this is worse because this is a solo show. Well, now granted, I've done solo things, you know, the whole Tom Woods things are pre-recorded. That happens. But these are people you can physically see on the screen watching. You're part of their show. I could take it over. I could just start doing whatever. And they've decided that, you know what? It's worth that I just, it's better that I just get the fuck out of here altogether than sit around and watch this guy. That's what they've decided. That's rough. That's pretty rough for me to take in. But, you know, it's what it is. Okay, I had another thing I want video I think I wanted to do here. I have a bunch of things in my bookmarks. I had one here. This was an odd thing. Let's talk about this lady. This is something that Tower Gang would talk about, but fuck them because I'm going to do it myself. So I've never heard of who this person is, but evidently she's some sort of whore. And this guy wrote, or she did this thing. This guy did a thread about it, but she's like, for my birthday, or what's her name? Or Ayala's girl or something like that. For my birthday, my partner and some friends organized a huge gangbang for me with 42 attendees. Here's the breakdown of how the event was organized, exit survey statistics, and what it was like for me psychologically. Really? Psychologically? Let's see if we could take a look at this. Okay, so she put out a survey. 1,604 people responded to the survey. That's a good tweet for me. 828 failed the auto filter. How do you fail an auto filter? Yeah, I don't know who I've never heard of this person before, Andy. Andy said, oh no, is Tyler talking about, yeah. Well, Toad does like to watch, I think. 828 failed the auto filter, okay? 776 passed the auto filter. Of that, 328 failed manual filter. Of the 776, 448 passed the manual filter. Of the 448 that passed the manual filter, 197 they didn't contact. 251 out of the 448 they did contact. Okay, so it went to 1604 down to 251. Of the 251 they contacted, 143 said, you know what, screw this, I'm out. 25 of them were friends. Okay, I don't know what that. 83 they did an interview with. Of those 83 they interviewed. Okay, so 25 they said, you know, you automatically go to the next thing. So they passed 25 on. 143 didn't respond. 83 they interviewed, and 21 they rejected. How bad are you to get rejected by this whore? 87, that's 21 plus the 25 of the 83. 21 rejected. So 87 got invited. Out of those, 31 didn't get a ticket of those 87. 56 got a ticket. 13 canceled. Sweet. Brave guys. They're probably like, how far can we take this? Then they did an STI test, and they 43. One person didn't show. 42 showed up. 5 didn't bang Ayala at the time. Okay. 5 break. 37 penetrated her. 15 didn't come. 5 came in a fluffer, and 17 in her. 17 in her. And this is some of the most disgusting things I've ever just seen. So this is just crazy. This thread though, this person, oh, that's Candace Owen. That's just inhumane. I don't understand what's going on with these people. Let's see if you guys know who she is. This post gave me chlamydia. Noah, get the arc. JC says, this island chick has been trying to psyop people into her rationalist hedonism lifestyle for over a decade. No personal growth whatsoever. And she's gross. 36 clerks jokes. Yeah. Yeah, I thought she was gross. There was nothing inviting about her. Okay, I had another one here. Let's see if we can, maybe we'll play this clip of Dave. We already played the clips that we had there. That one, no. Oh, you know what? Now we're getting into some stuff. Let's hear. This is Kamala Harris. I just think we need to hear more from our esteemed leaders. I made not fun of, but libertarians. And then we have this as Democrats.
Well, I think culture is a reflection of our moment and our time, right? And present culture is the way we express how we're feeling about the moment. And
okay, so she's not wrong, right? It's a moment of time. Culture reflects that, and it's how we express our times. Okay, perfectly fine. So what's your point?
And we should always find times to express how we feel about the moment that is a reflection of joy.
Well, I don't know. We should always do that, but okay, fine. You want to express joy, right?
It comes in the morning.
Wait, what?
we
Why are they
have
laughing?
to find ways to also express the way we feel about the moment in terms of just having language and a connection to how people are experiencing life. And I think about it in that way too. Well, I think...
Okay, so the first thing I want to say is if you're interested in becoming an attorney and you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm not smart enough. 1, watch a show and go, okay. 2, you can watch that and say, oh, no, that bitch can do it. I could totally do it. Yeah, she's really dumb. It's quite amazing, actually. Okay, I think I had another one here, and if not, we'll just be done. Oh, this is one I wanted to look at. So I haven't watched this in its entirety, but I think it's interesting to do so. So I was just talking to my wife about this the other night, and my daughter about Dash. You go to a place to eat, and then you just leave without paying your bill. Evidently, these girls did, okay? But they left their car keys on the table. Come back for their car keys. These motherfuckers are filming. Looking for the car keys.
They're going to say they went to the bathroom.
Y'all went to the bathroom?
Hold up. Now to go sit it.
Get him, shorty. Shot town. Shot town. Shot town. Get him, shorty. Shot town. Yeah, y'all shouldn't have walked out. Pay your bill. Yeah, y'all left them keys. Y'all shouldn't have walked out. The world's dumbest criminals. Y'all making us look bad. Yeah, dummy.
Y'all making us look bad as well. He says, yeah, pretty much so. Dumb fucking people. I mean, that's just the way it is. I think I'll play one more, and then from there, maybe we'll make it call it a night. And I'll tell you about the one-legged girl I dated as well. No, it's just kidding. I didn't date a girl with one leg. There we go. This is the last one I'm gonna show, and this is just kind of how I feel about this. This is it's a monkey on ice skates. Look at that. Look at that move. Look at that. Oh, jumping over shit. It feels like that's related to the last video we saw, but maybe not. Okay, Alan says, what jobs do retarded attorneys get? We get all of them. That's exactly what I do. What is the better song off of Animals, Dogs or Pigs? I'm not a big Animals fan, just letting you know there. So I don't know. You tell me which one. Alan says, it gives me a perfect question to ask the next time you're on. It's too late. If any retard can just keep banging their head until they become an attorney, what kind of actual job could they get? That's a good question. I like the way you put that in there. And not everyone could become an attorney. I knew people that took the bar a bunch of times and, just never could do it. And I don't know. Yeah, that monkey was crazy. I remember when I was a kid, this is the early 80s, late 70s. These monkeys were all the rage, right? They would do shit like this, these chimps. And there was calendars, BJ and the Bear. It was a TV show about a truck driver who had a monkey, okay? And he'd travel around and get into all kinds of wacky stuff. And I love these monkeys. And I had a calendar of monkeys doing shit like this, like wearing pants, hats, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It's just the way it was. Tyler, do you have any other hoodies? I literally, I have the, I do. I have probably like 6 of them, okay? Which is funny because I see Dave Smith and he's always wearing a hoodie. It's this time of year, okay? So it's like about 40 to 60 degrees every fucking day, okay? And it gets tiring. Do I have some schmuckus on this thing? It's right here. Where is this at? Maybe it's right here, a little stain or something like that. We went to the bar. I have like 6 of these things. I went to Costco and there's these, I got 4 of them that are all the same thing exact, but they're different colors. It's like a maroon, a gray, a black, and a blue. And then I got this one and I got a bunch of them, but they're all kind of very much like, it's just this weather. I get a little chilly. I don't want to just have just a t-shirt. So I wear these I do laundry. I do my own laundry quite a bit. So, that's just what it is. Jameson said, I think I paid my bill at the club on Friday. I think you did. I think everyone was paying. I don't know. That's what it is. It's spring break and 80 outside. Yeah. You're down in Florida. Good for you. Happy for everybody around there. Let's, play a little 9 Inch Nails. Then we'll be done for the evening. It's about an hour. Okay. So here's the plan, folks. I've got the Josh Smith video coming up. I'm going to get that out. Check us out on Tower Gang on Wednesdays. Stay for the end or just watch it and then check me out right at the very end. You can see that. I hope this next week I'm going to have my whole plan in place to maybe do a little something different. If you have ideas, tell me about those ideas. And then next week, hopefully Andy will be back and doing his thing where we can start to have our shows again together. Is Killpaw done for forever? The whitest man I know. Thank you. Oh, that's one of the nicest things you've ever said. I mean, the whitest. I don't know if you're trying to be. By the way, I hate rap music, so you're very much right. But I hate country music too. So I don't know if that makes me white, not so white. I don't know. Okay, so that's the plan. Other than that, we'll just keep rolling. Maybe some legal stuff. I watched all the Fannie Willis shit. So I'm up very adept on that. Maybe we'll take a look at that. Bike race is in full swing, people. Strada Bianca is tomorrow. It's a big race. Enjoy.
Okay, I'm leaving now. Bye, guys.
But she's back.
And now.
Chick-fil-A is completely overrated. It's not that good. I prefer Zaxby's. I prefer Popeyes.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken.
Should I vote for Dick Cheney on the Libertarian Party? Do I have an obligation to vote for Dick Cheney?
I would say so.
Yes.
Did it work for those people?
No, it never does. I mean, these people somehow delude themselves into thinking it might, but but it might work for us.
That one dude was like, not a podcast. I can't find it anywhere. They don't have video.
Oh yeah, Peter Janke. Yeah.
Yeah, I blocked him.
I'll do it. If he unblocks me, I'll...
He'll buy your shirt if you unblock him, Bert.
He's a wigger.
Yeah, nothing cooler than
So
a
he's-
49-year-old wigger.
like-
Yeah,
I just
all
started
got.
live streaming. Cut me some slack. I'm pretty high tech for a boomer. But
For
anyways,
a boomer.